Many called last year's Galaxy Note 9 an incremental update, that Samsung was playing it safe. This year, we're getting two devices with an improved design, new camera features, more S Pen gestures, and no headphone jack. But more on that later. The standard Note 10 features a 6.3-inch dynamic AMOLED display, which is a small step down from the 6.4-inch Note 9. But you won't really feel like you're losing out on much thanks to the tiny bezels on the phone and the new center-aligned hole-punch front-facing camera. I have pretty high notch tolerance and was fine with the notch on the S10 series, so the new Infinity O notch doesn't really bother me. The Note 10 Plus sports a 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED display with HDR10 Plus and UL certification, making it the biggest Note to date. I found holding the 10 Plus comfortable, but it's good that Samsung is offering an option that's more familiar to previous Note owners. The Note 10 feels lighter and slimmer in hand as compared to its predecessor. The curves on the new Infinity display feel like they naturally wrap around the sides of the phone, around to the back. The sides resemble something like the Nokia N9 if you remember that phone, and it doesn't have the obvious strip for the power and volume buttons like on the Note 9. As for specs, the Note 10 comes with the Exynos 9825 or the Snapdragon 855 Plus in the US. There's up to 8GB of RAM, 256GB of storage, and a 3500 mAh cell. The Plus model rocks the same processor but goes up to a higher 12GB of RAM and 512GB of storage. The standard Note 10 doesn't come with a microSD card slot, so if you're after more space, you have to get the Plus model. Speaking of things it doesn't have, the Note 10 series has officially joined the No Headphone Jack club, so it's going to be #dongle life unless you opt for wireless options. Like the Galaxy S10, the Note 10 has a triple camera setup consisting of a primary, ultra-wide, and telephoto camera. There's also a new feature called Live Focus Video, which is essentially the Live Focus portrait mode but for video. So you can do things like blur the background, add bokeh balls, or have a glitch effect that will be applied to your videos in real time. There's also the super steady video stabilization brought in from the S10 and a new zoom-in mic feature that increases the audio output as you zoom into further subjects. The video editor in the gallery is now improved as well, and you can now edit clips on a timeline, adjust the duration of each clip, and even add a transition in between. But if you're after a more professional alternative, Samsung has partnered with Adobe to optimize the Adobe Rush editor and is even offering a special price for the paid subscription. You can't talk about the Galaxy Note without mentioning the S Pen, and naturally, there are a couple of new features here. The S Pen now has a standby time of 10 hours and 6-axis sensors to perform what are known as air actions. So you can wave the S Pen up and down to switch between the front and rear cameras, or wave left and right to switch the camera modes. You can even zoom in and out by waving the S Pen in a circular motion. It's a little finicky at first and there's a bit of a learning curve in the way that you wave your S Pen wand, but it'll probably come in handy when you have your camera set up in the distance. AR Doodle is another fun feature on the Note 10. You can doodle over a subject and you'll track them in real time. You can also have doodles stay in a particular spot and move through them in AR space. During my testing, the tracking will occasionally lose its subject, especially if the subject is moving quickly, and doodles tend to go missing when you're looking around the AR space. But I guess it's still a pretty cool party trick. Other noteworthy features include an improved Samsung Notes app for easily digitizing your notes and using Samsung DeX straight from a USB connection. A new partnership with Microsoft also means you can connect the Note 10 to your Windows PC and receive messages and notifications without having to look at your phone. So while the Note 9 was a subtle upgrade, I think the Note 10 brought along a pretty healthy amount of new features and specs. Sure, it wasn't a major leap in technological innovation, but these days there's rarely any of that, especially when it comes to smartphones. The Note 10 Plus is the obvious choice for power users, but the Note 10 is no slouch as well. It's definitely the device to go for if the 6.8-inch display on the Plus model is too daunting. The Note 10 series will be available in 3 flavors: Aura Glow, Aura White, and Aura Black. The Note 10 retails for 3,699 ringgit for the 256GB model. The Note 10 Plus goes for 4,199 ringgit for the 256 model. The 512GB model of the 10 Plus will go for 4,799 ringgit. So let us know what you think of the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 series and which one you'd pick. As always, like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon to get notified of our future videos. And that's it from me. Bye bye.